Hey, welcome to the Melton Man podcast. Got a very special guest with me today. I like to say a mentor of mine. Met this brother back in high school. He is a legend at the school I went to. Jersey is retired. Not only a Memphis basketball legend, Wake Forest legend, currently a coach and administrator at Memphis University School. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Robert O'Kelly to the Melton Man podcast.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you. So, I mean, I originally met you back when I was at White Station High School. You were at second prayers at the time, and honestly, kind of sad that the kids don't do that anymore. Because that was a great bond, and we go stay for the weekend. Hear the word, practice, bond with each other, meet, some great people, and then go to church on Sunday. So that was a good time. What was that time like in just that time in your life?
So that time was important for me. So kind of my story, I played professional basketball for a while, found out I had a heart condition when I was overseas in Brazil, and that kind of ended my career. So it was tough, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. My plan was to play basketball till I was almost 40, to retire. That was my plan, and my plan kind of got jaded in my 20s.
Yeah.
And so the next thing I did was pretty much work at Second Pres as their sports ministry director. And just like you were just explaining, being able to go back to my high school. Not only did we do basketball, we did football. And provide a camp for you guys to be able to come over, practice, have some fun, do ministry. Like that was really good for me at that time, because obviously not being able to play basketball anymore was tough. Really hard for me. So that was, I would say probably the most I got of it, just the opportunity to go back and give back, be around the game. I even coached at White Station a little bit while I was there.
Yeah.
So at that time in my life, man, that was really, really important. And I'm glad I had that opportunity.
Yeah, man. It was fun. We always enjoy, coming up there, running around, getting in trouble by you, working out with you and Corbin. Shout out to Corbin, man. We just did an episode. But some things I honestly didn't know, and I want to get your take on it. So you are from Orange Mound.
So yes, you can say that. So I would say I grew up on Pendleton Street.
Yeah,
pretty much. I may be a little bit outside the outskirts. I was on down Pendleton Street, but I grew up playing at Hamlin Community Center. That's where I started playing basketball. That's where my dad was taking me. So even though the house my parents in may be not exactly in Orange Mound, but it's literally like right there on the edge.
Yeah.
So, and you go down Pendleton, you literally cross Lamar, and my parents' house is on that side. So it might be a tad bit outside of Orange Mound, but that's pretty much where I mean,
you're right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm right there. So, yeah.
So, okay. What was there like an uproar when you decided to go to White Station? What was that?
So the whole White Station, so obviously I was supposed to go to Melrose because I was down the street. I had two best friends who lived across the street from me, Arthur Seaton and Russell Seaton. They were both football players, and they were going to White Station. And I kind of grew up with them. They were around, like Russell, I think, was a year younger than me. Arthur was probably 2 years older than me. So we grew up together as kids, pretty much. And their parents put them in White Station. And so they were like, well, come on, Rob, man, why don't you try to go? So honestly, it was because of those two that I ended up going to White Station. I probably, my family, really, my dad and my sister, they went to Bellevue Middle School and then went to, because my grandma stayed in that neighborhood, then went to Central High School.
Yeah.
So I went to Rosette Elementary, which is off Lamar, kind of over there near Bellevue. But it was either going to be that or Melrose. And then just my two best friends growing up, man, they talked me into it. And it's funny because I went to White Station, I stayed. They were football players. White Station wasn't that good at football back then. So they ended up transferring back to Melrose. Yeah. And they both got college scholarships, playing football, but they left me over there. And but I'm glad I went, man. White Station was awesome.
So, okay. I'm going to touch on that a little bit more because I'm interested to know a little bit of the history at that time.
Okay.
But What was you said you weren't necessarily like in Orange Mound, but where you were from, what was it like back then? Like, what was the culture? What was the feel of Memphis at that time?
Man, so you just want basketball feel or just feel of Memphis or
Both.
what? Both. So I would say basketball feel was definitely different, man. We were outside in the park. We were just playing ball outside. It's crazy. You think about this heat now. As a kid, dude, I was out in this heat just balling. Like that's what it was. My dad had a goal in the backyard. People were coming to my house. We had 3-on-3, 2-on-2. I mean, it was just going at it. I mean, that's probably why I had some knee problems a little bit because I was just on concrete all the time. So it was just park, concrete, man. Basketball was just basketball. You had a lot of guys that could just play in the neighborhood. Maybe weren't getting their academics like they was, but you just had all these legend ballers, man, who just didn't, take care of the academic side.
Yeah.
That were just through the neighborhood. So it was just different. Now it's circuits and AAU and gym. And dude, back then it was just outside balling, man. I had a blessed family, man. I grew up, a lot of my friends didn't have dads, kind of lost them to the streets. And I had a really strict dad who stayed on me. I think got the best dad in the world, man. Mad respect to my father. It was just, basketball was an escape for me. It was something that, I worked on. My dad put a goal in the backyard and I just fell in love with it, man. And
Did he introduce you to the game?
He did. He did. Yeah, it was my dad. And he really wasn't a baller himself. I think he maybe did track and field. My dad had like a left-handed hook shot, man. So he wasn't, he wasn't like a baller. But yeah, he introduced me. He took me to Hanley Community Center. My first coaches, shout out to Bug Guy, who's I think at the Croc Center right now. He was one of my coaches when I was really, really little. So yeah, my dad, he introduced me to the game.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what was the vibe in Memphis like back then?
So, I mean, I grew up, man. So first thing I remember, obviously you got Penny Hardaway and you got L.A. Perry, the legends that I, watched growing up. I remember my dad took me to a high school game. I don't know if you remember Michael Wilson, but Michael Wilson could jump out of the gym. He played at the U of Memphis. Okay. I think he set a world record for like high jumping or whatever. So I go to the gym and watch this guy play. He plays for Melrose. And, dude, this guy jumped so high. You would literally come down the court and somebody shoot a 3-pointer. He would jump in the air and grab the 3 out there without it being goaltending. And this is how high this guy could jump. And so, going to game, my dad would take me to games like that, at Melrose, Fairleigh High School, Deuce 4. You probably don't remember these old players because you're probably a little young, but, Memphis has just always been a basketball city, man. Like we've always had ballers. I remember playing against Ren, Lorenzen Wright, my freshman year. He blocks my ball against the backboard, throws it in the stands. But just, man, basketball was just, and I think there was just more of an emphasis on high school basketball. Like back when I was coming up, man, high school games were just packed. Now we got the Grizzlies and of course we always had Memphis, but like high school games were the stuff. Like, when we played before me, people were out and like I said, high school was just bumping in Memphis.
Yeah. I got a little bit of a theory on that, but what do you think? What do you think has happened to that field? It still happens every now and then, but it's not as.
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies have something to do with it. We didn't have the Grizzlies back in the day, I don't know. I still think we got talent in Memphis, so I don't think that's the case. I just think it was just more prominent back then. When we had our city championship in the Pyramid, man, with us and East High School, dude, it was like packed out, like in the Pyramid. That's a high school game. No, I can't pinpoint why that's kind of gone down a little bit. I say the Grizzlies a little bit because we got a pro team now here. A lot of people are going to get behind them, but I can't pinpoint it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I also find it interesting that you didn't mention your rival, Tony Harris.
Yeah.
So
of course.
What was the battles like that back then?
Man. So Tony Harris and I had a good relationship. Usually you have battles. Obviously when we're on the basketball court, we're going at each other. But some of y'all probably don't know, Tony and I played together in the summertime.
Yeah.
So we won 2 national championships. Beat Shane Battier one year, the Collins twins, Larry Hughes, like all those, like we played against all of them in the summer. We won 2 national championships. We, I think came to 3rd and 2nd in another. Like we were dominating together. And we would practice and compete together, but we had a friendship where, we're going to battle, but like we knew each other from pretty much playing against each other year round. So I think that both helped him and I like improve in just our games and took us to the level. So without him, I probably wouldn't have got to the level I got to, and he probably would stay the same. And we had a lot of good players in our class. So man, we had a loaded class.
Including you at that time. Could you give me like a top 5 or Mount Rushmore from your class?
From my class?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna say I'm number 1, of course, now. Although Tony Harris was ranked higher. So of course, myself, Tony Harris, you had Corey Bradford.
Yeah.
Snap Hunter, who was probably a little underrated, man. That dude he could play. Marcus Moody. Yeah, I mean, we had others, man, but I would probably say that's the top 5.
That's the top 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's a legit 5.
Yeah.
That's a legit 5. Well, I'll go back to the other point later. But so I know you mentioned your dad was like ran track and stuff a little bit. Did you grow up in church?
So I did. Actually, we were down the street from a church, Ansdale Cherokee Missionary Baptist Church. That's where I got baptized. So yeah, I grew up in church. I mean, obviously, that, you can be in church and can be a kid and you're growing and learning, but that's the deal. You're always growing and learning. I mean, even today you are. And so, yes, I grew up in the church, didn't have an understanding of it as I do now. But through my experience, I'm able to kind of give that back and hopefully bring more people to a more complete understanding of who God is and what the Holy Spirit represents. But yeah, I did grow up in church, was driven for that. But it was a journey and just got better and better as life went on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question is like, at that time, was it any kind of, was it different now? Like, has the Black church gone through a difference, a change, or it have to be Black, it can be church in general. Just the Memphis church scene, like, how was it?
So I would say back then, and especially, I guess a big difference, the church, because I have my daughter, in Sunday school and stuff. Like back then, we didn't have a lot of Sunday school. It was like the kids come into church, they sit next to the parents, and the kids get bored. And so I think the huge change today is they have a lot more for youth. Like there's Sunday school. My daughter goes to this thing called Axis at Life Church, which I think is really benefiting her. I just think there's more programs for kids. I wouldn't say there's just a huge difference. I mean, obviously the word is the word. Everyone has their different styles. I just wish, we got so many churches here. I wish some of these different styles would cohabitate instead of having all these different churches everywhere. But it's, it was worship. It was getting into God's word. And I just think you just grow and get better as time goes on.
Okay. That's interesting. When I had Corbin here, he talked about how it was how important community was. He told me a story about how, if he got in trouble at school, the principal would get him, then his teacher would get him, and then his neighbor would get him. And so community back then, like church community and just general community, like for you growing up on where you grew up, how was it? Was it a little bit more close-knit, or what was your experience like?
So it seems like you're kind of talking maybe like the discipline aspect of everything. Maybe that's changed, or
general, I think, relationship with your neighbors.
Yeah. For me right now, I have great relationship with my neighbors. Like I actually had them over to my house last week, and I grilled some steaks. And so, we make sure we keep a good neighborly deal. And I'm like the only Black guy on my street, but it's all good. Growing up, we had neighbors, we had people that like we had friends up the street, like talked about my 2 friends across the street. We all kind of cohabitated. Me personally, I like to build community. I feel like community is kind of the example of church, is us going in and worship together. And just, there's a lot of scriptures in the Bible that's honor thy neighbor, respect thy neighbor, love them. So that's kind of been important to me. So wherever I've been, I've tried to like just reach out and be a good neighbor. Not everyone is accepting of that. There's actually one person on my street that's not, but the rest of us, we kind of, we kind of get together. So, but no, that's always been important to me. So I wouldn't say I guess just because I take the initiative, I wouldn't say it's been a difference for me because that's always been important to me.
Yeah. I think you're the outlier. You might be the outlier with taking initiative and community.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the world is a lot less trusting than it was,
Yeah.
A few decades ago. So it kind of hurts speaking to your neighbor and, having people over, being able to, a village,
Mm-hmm.
to raise kids. What I do, you said something earlier that I kind of want to talk to and kind of get it to the heart of that a little bit, which was, all right, so you overseas. Can you tell us that whole story? Because my understanding, it wasn't just it was a surprise at the same time.
Yes, it was. So I was in my third season overseas. I was in Assis, Brazil, which is kind of near Sao Paulo, and had a great season there. So literally, man, Brazil was going to be my last stop. So I had just got invited to the Memphis Grizzlies camp the year before that.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to invite me back for summer league. Actually, the team, which is Concha Assis, they wanted me back the next season. There was a school in the town that wanted me to start a basketball academy, even though hardly anybody spoke English. So the town loved me like that was going to be my spot. So while I was there, man, a soccer player like collapsed and died on the field, just of heart condition. It was on TV. It was a big deal. And so like this whole throughout Brazil, we're going to check every athlete. They just did it. And so that's how I found out. Literally, I got checked. They came back and told me like, hey, you have a condition. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, I've been playing basketball all my life. There's no way. And it's like, yeah, you have it. So, when you play overseas, if there's some injury or something, they're going to send you home if you can't complete the season. So, they sent me home. I came back to Memphis. I saw a doctor. They literally said the same thing. It was, I could have kept playing. It just would have been a risk, but kind of after the research and just kind of, your heart is pretty important.
Yeah.
And so I decided to just stop. I did not want to take the risk of something happening. You hear about, guys that's collapsed and died on the court before. Think of a Boston Celtics player. I think Reggie Lewis, and I think there was a Loyola Marymount player that did. And so, I am blessed. I'm able to work out. I'm able to be active. I can do pretty much anything I want.
You look good, bro.
It's just I can't play a professional sport at that level. That kind of gets your heart going. So, I just decided to stop. Obviously, in doing that, man, that was just like, what in the world? Like, what am I supposed to do? Now, I will say the most important thing I found out when that happened is that I was putting basketball before God. I grew up in church. I value God. I thought I was a pretty good person. But most of my efforts went towards basketball. There's no doubt in that. If that's the biggest lesson I get from that, that's great, because now, even with a family, I make sure that I'm putting God first instead of something else.
Yeah.
And I know what it is to put something else first and not that. And that's just never going to happen again. And if that's the biggest lesson I get from that, it's worth it. Right now in my life, I make sure I'm at church on Sundays. I'm leading a Bible study. I'm doing devotions with my daughter every night. I'm just making sure I'm doing things where, hey, this is first and not that. And I would say that's the biggest lesson I got from that.
When the doctor came, like when he confirmed it to you, like, what was that emotion like? And did you at that point, did you realize like it was going to be career ending?
So when I found out in Brazil, I was like, nah, this can't be right.
Yeah.
So I flew back here. So when I got it from the doctor here, I was like, dang it. Like, this might be it. Obviously my family's worried about me. Everybody's worried about me. I mean, I never got to a point where I was going to hurt myself or anything like that. It was just, I was in some deep depression because I love playing basketball, man, and I wanted to continue to play. And I was, like I said, I just got out of training camp with the Grizzlies. I was in Brazil. Like, things were looking up for me. So it was just, I mean, obviously it was God the only reason that I made it through. But it was tough, man. Every day, just like, this is over. I'm not playing ball anymore. And then just trying to figure out a life without that. I can't tell you how tough that was.
And I can understand uh, coming to it's hard for athletes at the end, when we're at the end, and then to have you training upwards and kind of taking is kind of,
Yeah. I think I was 24,
ooh,
25. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You decided not to go against God in that time. I mean, you see
Mhm.
depression. I'm sure there was some anger and some
Oh,
not
yeah.
understanding why. How did God? What was it? Your wrestling with God in that time?
That was some wrestling. Absolutely. Well, here's the thing. I'm not in control.
Yeah,
So it was just kind of a processional thing for me. Um, I made a decision to stop.
yeah.
And so I had to deal with that,
Mhm.
and I had to seek God's guidance. Now, was it easy? No. I think worked for Memphis out of Lake Measures for a little bit, when Crichton College, I coached there for a little bit, and just really trying to find like what I should be doing. Like, what am I meant for me to do here? So it was just a day by day process, trusting God, trying to grow in God, because even when that happened, I wasn't as mature as I could have been. And so that's just what it was for me. I had a life, it was here. How do I make the most of it? And how do I make the wise decision? And it just discernment, wisdom, just trying to really follow what he wanted for me.
Um, because I want to ask you too about the direction. Why didn't you go? Wake Forest is in Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem. Yeah.
Why didn't you go back there?
Why didn't I go back there? Well, my family's here.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. Family's important to me. I mean, my mom, my dad. Um, I just, yeah. I think just because of the magnitude of what happened,
yeah.
I thought being around family was better than just kind of going back to school and going back to Wake. And Wake Forest is a great place. Winston-Salem is, it's a good city, but it's not like this, various kind of more for retirees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the school is great. But nah, I really didn't know if I wanted to be a college coach.
Mhm.
My old coach, Coach Odom, did kind of offer that to me a little bit, but it just didn't work out and it wasn't in the plans.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you struggling or wrestling with God, trying to find out what you want to do. You work in these different odd jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a story of how you broke through and found direction or beginning to find it?
Yeah. So it was, man, so I would say the first breakthrough was being at second press
Mhm.
at PDS. That was probably, like I said, that was therapeutic for me in what had just happened in my life. So that was just, I think I coached a team. A parent was a member there, gave my name to the person there because the job was open, and it just kind of all fell in.
Mhm.
And so that's just kind of how that happened. I mean, I was still searching, but I thought, getting in that position, man, that was, I think that was getting me on the right trajectory of what God wanted me to do. So, obviously I think I did that for like 6 or 7 years, maybe, I believe, can't pinpoint it. And then kind of went into insurance, and the whole insurance thing, a teammate of mine at Wake Forest, was with this company, and they just kind of came and recruited me. And that's how that kind of went off right there. So, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, well, like when especially athletes, it's kind of when we lose something like basketball, like it's a mission tied to it, it's journey, it's camaraderie.
Yep.
Finding that again can be very difficult. So, were you optimistic about finding passion again? And how did you, I guess I know how you know when you found it, but what was that? What did you think that you could find a passion again?
Yeah. I mean, I had faith.
Yeah.
Even though I said I wasn't as mature, you continue to learn and grow.
Mhm.
I always, I believe there is a God who cares about me and loves me.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the issue. It was just finding out what that God wanted from me and pretty much learning from the situation. Obviously, I said the biggest thing I learned was I definitely didn't put him first. I was putting the hooping first. So it was just, like I said, just a process. And I knew God had a plan for me. I mean, we know those scriptures, like there's something for everyone, not just me, but for everyone. And if we can just tap into that, and I guess for me, it's kind of like the Holy Spirit living in you
Mm-hmm.
and letting that kind of have its way and pour out of you and having that trust and faith. And I think that's just kind of what I held on to. In life, man, you have ups and downs. And I think how you handle those downs kind of shows who you are. And I didn't want to give up.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like he had a plan for me. And so I tried to be excited about each day, although it was hard, and just kept going.
Was there a moment where you, because I know you said the first breakthrough was second prayer. So
Mhm.
was there a moment where it's like, like I enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I can see myself doing it. I know I'm in my purpose.
Yeah. So there, I mean, as we talked about at the beginning, like being able to go back to my high school and provide those camps and to team up with Coach Patino and bring you guys over for a camp and doing that with the football team every year. And literally my job was to administer sports to kids and youth and, incorporate God's word in it. And so how can I build a sports program where God is the center? And so, yeah, man, I'm like, yeah, that is my purpose. Like, that's what I should be doing. I've been in sports all my life. God has given me a platform at this huge church. So, yeah. And then to be able to go to my high school, man, yeah, that's absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. But in that time, I mean, that's amazing because, like, obviously we connected there. There are so many, kids, who have become man and women, uh, to have gone on, from White Station, from other schools and other places. Was it difficult to step away from?
From second press. So I was always curious, of the business world.
Yeah.
Like how I would do in the business world. And like I said, it came and, the job at Second Pres, I don't think it's a lifer type job. I think it's something just kind of a transition to something else. And so I always just just want to kind of get out there in the corporate world and see what it was like. So I had an itching for that a little bit. And then when my teammate, Joseph Amonette from Wake Forest, it's like, hey, Rob, like it was like they came after me. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's time to make a transition. And so that's how that all came about. It's a great spot at Second Pres, great job, but I thought it was time to pivot to something else.
And another thing, like, okay, so you dominated in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You dominated at Pres.
Mm-hmm.
From what I hear, you dominated in insurance, and now you're killing it where you are now. How?
God. I mean, that's the only answer I can give you, man. Like, we can throw the dice and plan our lives, but God is the one who pretty much is in control. And that's, we were talking the other day just about the balance of excellence and perfection.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you try to be perfect, that's going to mess you up.
Yeah.
Like you're going to make mistakes. And so, my motto is just, I want to be excellent in all I'm doing. If I'm asked to do something, I want to do it. If I tell someone I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I have to have a conversation or if I need to be humble, if I need to apologize, like just every situation, how can I be a representative of man above?
Yeah.
And that's just kind of my life's goal, man, my life's passion right now. Like at MUS with these kids, like I'm scheduling people on the campus. I'm trying to get kids an opportunity. I'm mentoring these kids. Like just the administrative and the coaching, is just kind of up my alley, man. So I'm really enjoying it right now. And I'm coaching with a coach who does it the right way. Coach Wilson. He is a hard worker. He's coached in college. He's going to do things the right way. So just our relationship, man, just matches up because we have the same goals.
What about any challenges along the way? Like after basketball, any bumps in the road where you had to be like, okay, I got to get back up from this.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, when I started off, man, there was, I did, kind of Memphis Athletic Ministries. I did a little stint at Crichton. They really didn't work out. And I'm just like, okay, well, what's going on? Like, what should I be doing? And so, to rebound from those and of course to get the job at Second Press was really great. Um, you know, challenges. I have a daughter. I got married. Really tried to make my marriage work. End up getting a divorce, but my ex-wife and I have a great relationship. We're co-parenting. My daughter's thriving and doing well, so that's a challenge. Even now, having and like I kind of told you, I'm probably going to get remarried here. So I mean, those are kind of challenges I think of. You know, there's always going to be things that you have to deal with, whether it's people, whether it's cultures, environments, those things are going to be there. And that's when you just kind of seek wisdom and just try to, do your best and have God guide you in those situations.
When you would ask God, like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember how he would answer? Or how you recognize?
Man, that is a great question, man. Because I mean, that's kind of, we want to hear directly from God, right?
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time it's just kind of through his word is where you get directions. There's a few times where, I've heard a voice, I remember one time it was keep working on your marriage, like don't give up yet.
Yeah.
And so that's what I continue to do. And even when I was at Second Prayers, man, God spoke to me, said, you're going to be here another year. And that's when I knew it was time to transition.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, man, it's just, worshiping. I think corporate worship is so important.
Yeah.
I think it just gets our mind in the right place. Like I'm coaching on a basketball court. I'm saying, let's go guys, dude. When I'm worshiping, dude, I'm louder and I am just, man, I mean, I'm a passionate worshiper. I'm throwing hands up. I'm screaming. I'm like, just from my past situations, man, I got to make sure I'm giving everything I have to God first before anything else. So I think my worship gets me in the right mind. Obviously reading the word.
Yeah.
And my prayer time. That's just, I continually and consistently do that. And sometimes I don't get direct direction, but I get guidance. And obviously, man, getting anything from God is what's more important than anything. I'll take anything I can. So, but sometimes I'm like, God, man, come on, man, tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, like, okay, I got this situation. This is here. Like, come on. But it doesn't
Do you
always
find in
happen
that
like
time,
that.
because I going through that currently, where it's like, I want to give me something. Is it more of God saying, I've already equipped you, or does he just, in those times where he want you to move and then, he would confirm? Or I guess I'm getting at like your walk with God and understanding just his nature. What would you discover?
So I wish I could give you a very direct answer that could clear everything up for you.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I cannot.
Yeah.
I think we have our own journey.
Yeah.
And I think in that journey, making sure you're relying on God and you're surrendering every area of your life. Like I'm at a point where I'm definitely surrendering every area of my life.
So what does that look like?
So that's knowing his word. That's being honest and truthful in everything. That's, the other night I read the first 10 chapters of Proverbs and I just meditated on what the word said and what that meant for my life and just even past things. And, that is forgiving people genuinely who have messed you off, like really forgiving them and praying for them. That's just seeking just every day, God, how do I represent you best? And that's in every area, whether it's my marriage, me being a dad, me being an uncle, me being a coach, just everything, not withholding any part of my life. There's secret lives. I mean, there's bars and there's strip club. Like, okay, I have nothing to do with none of those things. Because my posture and who I am, I want to make sure I represent him every step of the way. And so you have to accountability. I lead a Bible study. We men, it's about 7 of us and it's great. Every Tuesday morning at 6:30. And we talk about things and we hold each other accountable for things. And, so not hiding anything. Like if there's something going on in my life or there's something going on, I'm doing something. Hey guys, I'm doing this. What do you think? Like just not having any secrets. I would say that's kind of what it is for me.
Mm, that's good. Okay, so I mean, over the years, over the years with your walk with God, has there been anything? You kind of said a few things today. But one thing that God has taught you that has stuck with you.
So I would say one message is being strong, courageous, patient, and persistent.
Mm,
That's like that's something that definitely stuck with me. I've tried to be strong in everything, courageous, which means take chances, but also be patient and persistent. Just
mm,
keep going. That's a message that's always stuck in my head. Colossians 1:17, he is before all things, and through him all things hold together. Um, so I would say those are two big lessons that really stick out. Obviously, my church and my family, all that is important to me. And I just want to make sure I'm gliding with God through all of that. But I would say those two things are kind of the main things I go back to.
how did you not turn away from God over all these years?
Ooh,
Because I mean, you lost basketball. You could have said, "Well,
yeah, I know, right?
God, you let this happen."
Yeah.
Like you could have said you did. You could have blamed him. You could have said you did this to me,
Hmm. Yeah.
but you stayed.
Um, I think, growing up in the church was important. I think my upbringing and my parents were important. My mentor, I mean, even Coach Tippett, was a great mentor. My dad is awesome. Um, so I just think it's the people I had around me, the friends that I had, that just encouraged me. Um, and honestly, man, I think the sense of the Holy Spirit, I have a good sense of God's Spirit in me, which is in everybody. And I think that's the determining factor. Like, it's just being guided by that and being open to that. For me, it's like, there's no other way. So, you know, there ain't nothing else I can do. And then I don't have anybody around me that could even influence me to do, to do something wrong. So like, I wouldn't even know how to go and do something wrong, to be honest. So I think it's the people that are around me. Most importantly, the Holy Spirit that's living in me. I think that's just what keeps me right and keeps
Have
me
you
from turning.
seen people fall off over the years?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have seen that. And I had a situation where someone just left the church, that I tried to talk to. And obviously we deal with different people with different issues, every day. And it's all about becoming complete in the Lord. But, yeah, I mean, you see people who even say they're of God and, are doing things that are not of God. So,
Mhm.
you just got to be conscious of that, man, and just try to help them and just, pray for them.
Um, man, that's good.
Mhm.
Over the years, what do you think is the biggest reason people walk away from the faith? What
Well,
you've seen? I mean, that's
yeah,
everybody
I mean, I would
obviously.
say traumatized events in their life, probably praying a lot and not really seeing a change,
Mm,
kind of losing their faith or losing the fervor, and then having friends and people in their camp that's telling them otherwise. Oh, you don't need to be in church. You don't need to be doing that. Just come over here and do this. So I think it's influence. I mean, I majored in sociology, so my study was how the environment affects people. So
mhm.
I think what environments you put yourself in, the people you put yourself around, and then, just running out of patience and running out of faith and trust. Man, I don't know anybody I can trust more than God, even when times are tough.
Mm.
There's nobody can help me but him. So I think that's the cornerstone of where you got to be.
Mhm. If there's a young man who wanted to be like the next Robert L. Kelly,
Oh, wow. Okay.
he wanted to be the next Rob.
Uh-huh.
What's your advice to him?
Um, wow. Think I've ever been asked that. I would say, that's a good question. I would say things to stay away from. I mean, the flesh can be something that's just bad. I mean, you're a popular basketball player, you're getting love. And, there's a lot of situations, probably with females, that I regret a whole lot. And I would just be stronger in that, stay away from that, trust what God's word is saying in purity and wholeness. Um, I've had some interesting situations. Like, I don't know if you know, in high school, I started as a freshman. So, I wasn't liked by a lot of upperclassmen. In college, I started as a freshman. And I didn't really learn how to be a leader. Like, I was a good guy, I worked hard, but because I got thrown in as a freshman starting, like, I didn't have a senior mentor. They didn't like me because I came in and I played.
Yeah.
So, learning how to be a better leader. Like I said, I worked hard. I wasn't a bad guy. I talked to my teammates, but I just didn't put my foot down as a leader like I could have. Just because I wish I would have had a year with Tim Duncan. Like, he left the year before I came. So if I was a freshman when he was a senior, I probably would have learned how to do that better. So just learning more to be a leader on the court. And yeah, I guess those two things kind of stick out to kind of mistakes that I made and that I wish I would have did better.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you, what has pursuing righteousness benefited you?
What has it been? Oh man, I mean, I don't even know how to explain it, man. Just relationships. I don't know, just seeing goodness in people, man. Just respect for others, how others react to me, how others count on me, how just the standard of what God represents in my life is just potent. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, there's no other way for me. So, if I'm gonna be in a relationship with somebody, if I'm gonna deal with somebody, I'm gonna show love and do things the right way. I'm not perfect. I may mess up, but I'm gonna come back to that person and be like, hey, I didn't realize this, or I shouldn't have said this, or what. It's just treating others the way you want to be treated. Dude, it's just a great lifestyle, man. I don't want to, I told you I got interested in the business world where there's a lot of politics and backstabbing and people talk come on, man. Like, I don't want to be around that.
Yeah.
So just, it's a lifestyle for me, man. Like, that's just kind of what I want to pursue, righteousness and everything. Like, that's just my goal.
So this will be the last question. Okay, you said you were divorced or you were married again.
Yeah. Probably hadn't yet, but we're working on it. Yes.
Yeah, we got a friend that's gonna get you. You're gonna get an invite.
Yes.
What would you say, the wiser Rob now, who's been through a marriage and a divorce? What would you say to him, to a man who is, about to get married, or a younger Rob, to say, hey, this is what you need to look for, work on, be aware of?
So I would say when I got married, and my ex-wife, she's great.
I remember that time. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. And, we probably didn't get too in depth with who we were.
Yeah.
Okay. It was just fun. Like, we, even now, as we're divorced, man, we're good friends. We can talk, we can chat, we can laugh. Like, those things are there. But when you get married, man, you're becoming one. And so if there's trauma in your life from the past, like, sometimes things are going on in people's lives and they're not even realizing it because of something that affect them. So I would tell someone who's getting married, make sure you get in depth with who that person is and how they want a marriage to go, how they see a marriage going. Like, I don't think you should even get married unless you both talk about, all right, this is how our life's going to go. Like, are we going to talk this many times a week, or we're going to have a date night, or this happened in my family, and how do we, there just has to be more, I think, depth. Now, we went through the whole counseling and stuff, but that doesn't mean everything is being revealed. People hold stuff back. And I think And when you're around a person, you get a sense for who that person is. And you just got to, I think, dig deeper because you're becoming one. Like you're not going to be who you are. Like you're going to be one. So I think you have to do that early work of becoming one and ask those questions and try to get it out of that person. Because once you get married and you're one dude, it's full go. And so, sometimes there's issues, I think, on both sides that are affecting our personalities or how we react to things that makes the marriage go bad.
Yeah.
And then we're not able to connect this. And so I think just seeking more of a connection before marriage is important. Like really, really seeking a connection, like, cause you're becoming one. I mean, that's what it is. How are you going to organize your weeks together? How does that look? I want to do this. You want to do that. How do we bring it together? Like, I just think you have to do a lot of pre-work before getting married. And I don't think I did enough of that. It was fun and I enjoyed it. And we traveled and we did all these things. It was great. Went to Hawaii on a honeymoon. I mean, it was awesome. But we didn't get the depth of each other enough before we got married.
Mm.
Yeah. That's the advice I would give on that. Yeah.
That was good. Okay, so Rob, if the people would like to get in touch with you, follow you, maybe there's some coaches, they're going to be some coaches that'll watch this and maybe they want to get, connected with you, sign their team up for one of the programs you might have at MUS. How do they find you? How can they connect?
Yeah, I mean, I am on the MUS website, so Memphis University School. I'm not big in social media, so I don't have a lot of outlets in social media. I think I may have a Facebook, and I barely even get on it. So I'm not a big social media guy, but I mean, I'm on the Memphis University website. My contact is there. I'm at the school all the time, so it's not hard to find me. So yeah, I'm really available, just not on all the social media outlets. That's all. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, great. Well, man, I appreciate you, Rob. That's going to be it for the Male to the Man podcast today. We want to thank Robert O'Kelly for stopping by and giving us wisdom. Man, I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. And it's always a good episode when I get some conviction. So it's been good. So again, thank you for this episode. Be tuned in for some things that we have coming up. So again, thank you. And we'll see you soon. Peace.